WDTN, the station that's working for you. This is 2 News Now.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining me here on 2 News Now on this really triumphant of a Thursday, I guess I will say. It's Thursday, January 22nd. I'm your host, Alexis Bellamy, and sitting across from me is 2 News anchor Kelly King. Kelly, good morning.
Happy Friday Eve to you.
Happy Friday Eve.
Yeah.
I'll let you have that line, only because I feel like I haven't sat across from you in a while, actually, for some reason.
I think it was about a week, maybe.
Has it been?
Yeah,
It feels
I think
like
it's been about a week. Yeah.
I'm so happy to have you here, and we have tons to get through. And also, I wanted to ask you, as a native Daytonian, I guess I can ask, is it cold enough for you?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't like the cold. Somebody called me out the other day for
complaining about the cold.
I'm not complaining.
Well,
I'm allowed to have an opinion.
You
so
certainly
I
are.
am a native Ohioan. I'm from the area, and I like all the seasons, but I think winter lasts too long. I will take it as it comes, but it doesn't mean I have to like it.
And it's going to feel a lot longer. We're going to turn our eyes now to Storm Team 2 meteorologist Cameron Saliga, who's going to tell us essentially what we can expect this weekend. That's where everyone's attention and eyes are, Cameron.
Well, the good news, I guess you could say, is we're not going to see 50 below zero for the wind chills like places in Minnesota could see.
Yeah.
They usually see that, though, this
50?
time of the winter. Yeah.
I actually have some relatives that live in Minnesota.
Yeah, that's pretty
in
typical.
Rochester. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not fun for them, but
no, they're
it
used to it.
It
They're
happens
used to it. Yeah.
every winter.
But before
here,
we can get there, to the weekend, Cameron.
Yeah, here in the Miami Valley, we are seeing a little bit of cloud cover out there. There's also a lot of sunshine as well. So some higher clouds here going into the daytime. And even though it's cold outside, it's going to be the warmest day of the next 7 days. So we're going to see these temperatures continue to fall as we go into the weekend. Temps right now from 24 hours ago, about 12 degrees cooler. Yesterday, we got up into the 40s. Today, we are only going to get up to about freezing. Temperatures right now, 22 in Dayton, 25 Fairborn, 22 in Troy, 21 in Union City. Nothing to track here as we go through the morning hours. We're going to stay dry here through the day as well on Live Doppler 2 HD. And we're going to see these chances of rain, and actually not rain. It's going to be snow here in the Miami Valley as we head into the weekend, and we're going to have those temperatures into the teens. That makes it a little bit more tricky to forecast here as we go into the weekend. I'll let you know what to expect, though, coming up on the complete Storm Team 2 forecast.
Now, Cameron, we're going to have that from you, but we're also going to stick around for a little bit longer and ask you some questions about this weekend, like what we can literally expect and exactly how you guys forecast this. So we're going to talk with you in a little bit more, just a little bit, but we're getting into your top 5 stories of the day. Listen to this. A man is dead and another person is in custody after a shooting in Springfield. Police say they responded to Middle Street just before 10 yesterday morning, where they found 23-year-old Sion Forrest shot. He was taken to a hospital where he later died. 20-year-old Douglas Hall Jr. was later arrested, and he faces charges of murder and felonious assault.
Also this morning, some people are finally back in their apartments after a fire forced them out. Take a look at that flame video. Incredible there. This happened on Tuesday night. Obviously really devastating for some of those people who lived there and lost everything. The fire, combined with power outages in nearby buildings, originally left more than 30 people out of their homes. Some of the neighbors, they say they started smelling smoke around 6:40 Tuesday night. And then, as you saw there, just within a few hours, that whole building was up in flames. The Kettering Fire Department says the fire did start on the first floor. No one was taken to the hospital, so that's the good news.
It is.
2 people were evaluated, though, for injuries. The cause of that fire currently under investigation, and at this point, we don't have any damage estimates, but obviously pretty significant. And I would imagine that some people could have lost everything in their apartments.
Everything. And when I look at this footage, sometimes I don't know what is more impactful, seeing the flames and the fire and them trying to put it out, or seeing the devastation left over afterwards. Like this, even here, just looks so intense. And it's really a blessing that no one was hurt in that, Kelly.
Right.
Huge flames.
Both pieces of video, just heartbreaking.
And we are continuing on another step forward this morning in seeking justice for Spencer and Monique Tepe, a Columbus couple who were shot to death inside of their home. You may remember the story. It's making national headlines still, and that was more than 3 weeks ago now. Michael Mickey is scheduled to be arraigned on murder charges tomorrow. He was arrested in Illinois earlier this month and brought back to Ohio earlier this week on a Tuesday to face those charges in Franklin County. Been watching this for a while, and we will stay on this.
The interesting thing about this case, too, is police are still searching for a motive. They don't even have a motive right now. So this is one that we're obviously going to be paying pretty close attention to. Yeah. Also, the Darke County Sheriff's Office is focusing on reducing the amount of crashes in the county. One specific area that will see increased enforcement is State Route 49. Last week, that's where there was a deadly crash. You might remember it. You're seeing video of it right there. That involved a medical transport bus, and 3 people were killed in that crash on Friday. Now, statistics show there are around 100 crashes every single year on State Route 49 alone. That's a lot. There are multiple factors when it comes to crashes, but the biggest one, the sheriff says, is speeding, followed by distracted driving, of course. State Route 49 is a commonly traveled road, which is why it's going to be targeted for increased enforcement.
Yeah, and this is another piece of video we're just looking at. It is heartbreaking, essentially, given the outcome. Thanks, Kelly. Finally, our final top story this morning. Some sad news for Kelly, and I'm sure several other people out there. On the heels of a 78-51 rout of Loyola at home on Friday, the Dayton men's basketball team traveled to Philly for the start of their 2-game road trip. The Flyers look to extend their perfect start in the Atlantic 10 to 6 straight wins, taking on the 6-13 LaSalle Explorers. Unfortunately, the Flyers really struggled this game, you guys. They were down 40-29 at the break. And then the Explorers were really giving it out right until the very last minute of this game, handing Dayton its worst loss of the season. Kelly, I'm sorry to say it that way, but that's exactly what it is. The worst loss of the season.
So disappointing.
Yeah,
but hopefully they'll bounce back.
Hopefully, but Dayton's 5-game win streak ends with that concerning 67-64 road loss to LaSalle.
Yeah.
So sorry, Kelly.
They tried.
They did, sure.
It was right
Looks
up
like
there,
a good
but
game.
you know,
Always
you
next
win
time.
some, you lose some.
Exactly. Good attitude to have. We're going to look ahead now to our React to That question for today. And it's a fun one. We've been talking about it all morning. Who is your role model and why? Why is that person someone you look up to for advice, guidance, life things, anything? Kelly and I both shared our answers this morning, but I think we'll elaborate. Kelly, I'll let you go first. We both said mom.
Yeah, we did. So obviously growing up, my mom was my best friend. I'm an only child. And so it was, you know, she and I like share a really close and special bond. She was a stay-at-home mom. And so I got to spend a lot of time with her. She's a strong woman, but she's also kind. She always taught me to be kind to everyone. So I really look up to her. And I have to tell you that she is not only mother of the bride in my wedding, but she's my maid of honor.
Oh, Kelly, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I cannot wait to see those pictures, Kelly. Okay. Before we get down Kelly's wedding lane, go ahead and scan the QR code, you guys. Get in on the conversation. I want to hear from you. I'll share my answer or expand on it rather in just a little bit. Alrighty, time is 11:08. So happening today is the NASA Day of Remembrance. The Ohio House of Representatives ended up passing legislation to designate the day years back. It's a day meant to honor the lives of the astronauts who are in pursuit of further space exploration and scientific discovery. Now, here at home, we are taking a look at the role that Wright-Patterson Air Force Base played in the early days of NASA and its space exploration. So, Mr. Kevin Rusnak is the chief historian for the Air Force Life Cycle Management Center over at Wright-Pat. He's going to break down some of that connection for us just a little bit. Kevin, good morning.
Good morning, ladies. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. So I guess I should ask you to kind of start at the beginning. Like, tell us exactly how Wright-Pat can find its connection to NASA.
Well, before there was a NASA, which was formed in 1958, the Air Force was really spearheading what became the human spaceflight program. The elements that became the Mercury program that NASA used to first put the first Americans in space. Actually, most of that started here at Wright-Pat with technology that we had developed, everything from elements of rocket engines to aerospace medicine, spacesuits, all of those systems were at least planned, if not researched, here in Dayton. In fact, we had so many experts here that when NASA became an official organization, a lot of our scientists and engineers left Wright Pat to go work for NASA, and others worked for them, assisting with the programs with Mercury, Gemini, and Apollo, all the early spaceflight programs that NASA ran that put people into space and onto the moon.
Yeah, obviously, right, Pat, on the forefront of almost everything. And so who are the people who are creating this type of equipment? Is this type of work still being done today?
Well, we don't do quite as much space work as we used to. Once NASA was stood up, they really took over the human spaceflight program. The Air Force still stayed involved, and in fact, we looked at developing our own space vehicles or leveraging some of NASA's to have basically an Air Force human spaceflight program in the 1960s. And then even when the space shuttle was flying in the 1980s, there were still missions that were dedicated to the Department of Defense. But we really let NASA handle most of that. So now what we do is a lot of technology transition, where organizations like the Air Force Research Laboratory here at Wright Pat, or headquartered here at Wright Pat, develop technologies from materials to, as I mentioned, aerospace medicine, aerodynamics, these things that really feed into what the NASA and its contractors use to develop spaceflight spaceships and rockets and those sorts of things. A good example is that some of the current astronauts for these new commercial spaceflight programs have ridden the centrifuge here at Wright Pat. That's the device that spins them around and subjects you to higher G-forces like you might experience when going up into space on a rocket.
Perfect. So I'll leave you with this. If I could ask you to describe in one word the work that was being done to contribute here, what would that word be to you?
Seminal. And NASA could not have gotten to the moon or into space as quickly as it did without all of the years of research and development we were doing here at Wright Pat before 1969 when Neil Armstrong stepped on the moon.
Perfect. Kevin, thank you so much for joining and telling us about that. I got a little mini history lesson there, Kelly. I don't know about you, but I learned a lot. Thank you so much.
Glad to help. Thank you for having me.
All right, and we are actually kind of staying in orbit, I'll say. Kelly, listen to this. Yeah. NASA has announced that they will send your name around the moon, and they'll do it for free.
Wow.
NASA is giving you the chance to be a part of the Artemis 2 mission. We've been talking about that a lot here at the station. Everyone's really excited. All you need to do is submit your name on NASA's website. And I kind of made this joke earlier, and I'm not sure if you heard it, Kelly, but this right there, my name, Alexis Bellamy, will be all space or the moon will get for me, because I could not. Like, my name is the closest I would get. Would you go? Like,
that's the closest I would get.
Okay.
No, it kind of scares me, but
it just scares me. And I'm adventurous. I've done a lot. Like, one big thing I'm proud of is I got out of a boat in Louisiana and touched a wild alligator.
Wow.
Like, my parents hate that story, but I'm not afraid. But this frightens me.
Yeah. There's time, then you could also lose muscle mass and have to relearn how to walk.
Yeah. See,
there's a lot of unknowns.
There's a lot. And
so just sign your name, send it off.
That's cool. That's a cool story, anyways. All right. It is 11:13 now. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we've got the countdown to the 2026 Winter Olympics, a longer look at weather, so you guys can know exactly what to expect this weekend. Don't go away.
2 News Now, brought to you by Universal Windows Direct.
Hi, I'm Dan, the owner of Universal Windows Direct of Dayton. This is Bowie. He's been sniffing out the coolest winter deals for you. For a limited time, buy 2 windows, get 2 free. Get $250 off for patio doors and entry doors, $1,500 off for roofing, and $2,000 off for siding. Plus this week, 24 months interest-free financing for all products. Keep the cold out and the savings in. Give us a call now.
Universal Windows Direct.
Returning now with a look at the countdown to the 2026 Winter Olympics. So excited. Ooh, it is a foggy day there at the host city.
You can barely see.
You can barely see Milan. That's the host city we're showing you right now. Usually, where's your house? For the 2026 Winter Olympics. You guys, 15 days until the torch is lit in Milan, signaling the start of the Ultimate Sporting Challenge. As of late January, around 160 to 190 American athletes have already qualified for the 2026 Winter Games. Now, the games kick off on February 6th to February 22nd. And then, of course, the Paralympics are up next. That's March 6th to the 15th, featuring events in Milan and the mountain resort of Cortina. Don't forget, when the games finally do start, both sets in February and March, watch them right here on WDTN and WDTN Plus.
Hopefully it'll be a little bit clearer than the forecast.
Right?
All right, we'll take a look at this.
Beautiful.
Yes, these are the dazzling northern lights, and they were captured by a cosmonaut who currently is on a mission aboard the International Space Station. This is video posted on Instagram describing the site, of course, as incredible. It really is.
It is.
The cosmonaut said yesterday's solar flare triggered an incredible aurora borealis. In addition to the familiar green glow, a red one appeared as well, which usually occurs at altitudes of 300 to 400 kilometers. That's why it looks like this is what it looks like when you fly right through it.
Oh my gosh. I see this and I think Wicked, like, oh my God, look at Alphaba and
it's so pretty.
They're getting along. I think it's absolutely gorgeous.
So beautiful.
And then in the video, one of the questions was, hey, guess where we're flying over? And I'm looking and I'm like, guess where we are right now? Like, how are we supposed to guess?
That's too much for me to wrap my head around.
It's beautiful, but how are we supposed to know? All right, we were moving a little bit closer to home, you guys. Listen to this. With that cold and the snow and the forecast for this weekend, the city of Dayton says they are opening 3 recreation centers as warming centers. The centers will be open on Friday, Saturday, and on Monday. City officials say the centers will be closed on Sunday unless there's extreme weather conditions or a widespread power outage. We'll have more information on these openings in this story online at WDTN.com. And that brings us now to another longer look of exactly what that winter weather, those conditions could look like here this weekend. Cameron.
Yeah, outside right now, it's going to be a quiet day. It's going to be the warmest of the next 7 days, even though the high is only right around freezing here as we go into the afternoon hours. We're going to be building clouds through the day. We've already seen a little bit of cloud cover building up here over the past hour or so. Temperatures today getting up to about 27, 28 up north. 30 in Troy, 30 in Springfield to get further south, right around 32 in Dayton, 31 Oxford, and 30 in Eaton. Now, looking at the wind chills going into the day tomorrow, well, it's going to feel colder as we go into the midday tomorrow than what we're going to feel at midnight tonight. We're going to have wind chills continue to fall through the daytime. We're going to get even down to 10 below almost at 9 p.m. Going into Saturday, it's not going to get much better. 10 below zero as we head into the midday for the wind chill. The temperature is going to be in the teens or below the teens. Live Doppler 2 HD. Staying dry here today. We do have a cold front that's pushed on through, but there's an Arctic front near Canada that's going to bring that very cold weather in as we go into the nighttime. We have another low that is developing. That is going to bring a chance of snow here as we go into the weekend. We'll see that developing over the next 12 to 24 hours down near Texas, and that's where they're going to see some winter weather here over the next 24 hours, and then eventually here into the Miami Valley. Temps right now, 22 Dayton, 23 Troy, 25 Springboro, 28 in Wilmington. In the next couple of hours, we're going to have just a brief warm-up up to about freezing, and then we'll cool back down going into the evening hours. Looking long-term as we head into Saturday, well, the models have come to an agreement over the past 24 hours. There's gained some confidence of a snowstorm further to the north here as we go into the weekend. So some light snow into the mid-afternoon on Saturday, and then overnight where you are going to see the chance of some heavier bands pushing on through just in time for Sunday in the morning. We'll continue to see that chance of heavy snow. Starts to push out as we go into the nighttime. Could see a flurry or two on Monday. But we are going to see some impactful weather with at least 4 inches of snow, I would say, here as we go into the weekend. 32 for the high today, partly cloudy and colder than tonight. 9 degrees for that overnight low. Wind chills below 0 degrees tomorrow. 14 degrees for the high. 7-day forecast, we'll have overnight lows in the negatives next week. Monday night, -2. But we're going to have temperatures here for the most part in the next week below 20 degrees.
Okay, so Cameron, we said this already. We're going to do this a little bit differently, ask you some questions about what to expect. And a lot of people have questions about exactly how you forecast something like this that's moving in and is going to affect so many different places.
So here, over the past week or so, there's been some signals about a snowstorm here by the end of the week here in the Ohio region, at least. And so basically, you take that, you look at your signals far out. Beyond 7 days is kind of pointless to look at in terms of, are we going to see snow or rain? But as you get in within that 7-day range, you can start to see the signals coming together, and that's how you know that there's a storm coming. Now, here we're about 2 to 3 days out. This is when we're going to start to get our forecast out there for the snow total maps. But in between that time frame, really just waiting for some consistency in the models, because any possible error that gets input ruins the entire forecast. So as you get closer to the day, there's going to be less compounding errors. So what I do, basically 5 days out, we're looking, is there a potential for snow? Right now, we're looking, hey, the confidence has increased. We are definitely looking at a chance for some significant snow this weekend. And then by tomorrow and into Saturday, we're going to get the fine-tuned forecast of where we're going to get upwards of 4 to 8 inches, where we could see more, where we could see less, as over the next 24 hours, you could see fluctuations in that low pressure. The location of just 5 to 10 miles north means a little bit more snow here in Dayton.
Oh, boy.
Cameron, I know you said that you look at different models, but how do you decide which model to go with? Because there are several different ones you look at. I mean, what is your go-to, and how do you decide, like, okay, this one's the most accurate?
Well, historically, there's biases in these models. Some of them are imperfect. Some of them have a bias towards cold temperatures, 5-6 days out. That's usually what the GFS does. It has a cold bias. So you can really tell off those biases what is usually going to happen. Also, I trust the European model a lot more than the GFS. It's usually shown to be pretty accurate compared to the GFS, but there's a ton of models that you can get your information from. And then as we get within 3 days, we get the CAMs, we get the convective allowing models, and that can tell us, a better idea of what we're going to see here.
All right. Perfect. Cameron, thank you so much for breaking that down for us. We are going to do our best to stay warm and stay cozy.
Stay warm, stay safe. Hopefully no power outages.
So
no ice, thankfully.
So that's the big one.
So not really likely to see power outages.
We could see power outages if the snow is heavy enough, but ice is usually the main culprit for a long-term power outage.
Good to know. Thanks so much for that, Cameron. We're going to take a quick look at the Oscar nominees. They were announced this morning. We were all watching them here in the newsroom. Big stuff, you guys. So Sinners is leading the pack. They've got a record-breaking 16 nominations for an individual movie, you guys. That is huge. Of course, Michael B. Jordan's up. He played the twin, Smoke and Stack. And then, Kelly, Frankenstein is up. Some of the first-time actors in there. You've been on that movie.
Yeah, Jacob Elordi. He's up for Frankenstein. Yeah. So I did see that movie. I have not seen Sinners yet. It's still on my list. Oh my gosh,
you have to.
I'm going to. Please. I'm definitely going to see it before the Oscars. But I did like Frankenstein. It was very long.
And one thing
I will say that.
I will say the last thing before we go to break is K-pop Demon Hunters is all over this
soundtrack.
A certain anchor has been yelling at me to watch it, and I guess I need to.
It was not me.
It was not Kelly.
Not the anchor.
So
that was yelling at her. But soundtrack, amazing.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're looking at those react to that responses and what is coming up today in Living Dayton. You guys getting ready for the snow. Don't go away. Welcome back, everyone. Jumping directly into those react to that responses. Want to know who your role model is and why. So Dennis says, Carlos Hathcock. He inspired me to become a Marine. Go USMC. All right. We love a positive impact. And Yvonne says, my mother, Bertha Hoffman, strongest, smartest, most loving woman I know. Miss her. Yvonne, both me and Kelly's role models were our moms. My mom was the smartest person I know and absolutely the kindest, so we get that. Timothy says, my father, my brother, my uncle, and brother-in-law, all great examples of how to be a parent, a man, and an adult. 3 solid answers.
Great
love that. You can have more than one.
Yeah.
Thanks, you guys. All right, turning to what is coming up in Living Dayton, and Grace, the BBB needs some help.
Yeah, so nominations are open for the Torch Awards and Spark Awards. That deadline is fast approaching, so get your nominations in today.
And it is a good day to stay in and in the kitchen with the way the weather is looking.
Lee's famous recipe chicken is in the kitchen, making their home-style bowl comforting. I mean, what more would you want? So,
Nothing else, actually.
Nothing else. No,
delicious.
literally, yeah.
Perfect. Grace, thank you so much for joining us. 2 News anchor Kelly King, Alexis Bellamy for 2 News Now. We'll see you guys on Friday. Stay warm and safe. Take it.